Good morning, everyone. My name is Wes Pye, and we are back with another episode of Coding with Wes Pye. Today, we will be doing Python list tutorials, and this one I had to think about for a while because lists aren't as simple as they seem. They simply aren't. Especially when you consider that there's other like there's numeric arrays, which an array is really the proper name to call a list. An array is just a sequence of values, but in other languages it would be typed. So it would be you'd have to declare the variable as integer or a float, and then you'd be able to use that. You would have to instantiate a new object of that array, string array class, and then be able to actually use it and populate it. Because now the array's been initialized. Now you're going to actually populate it with data. And that's more Java way of going about it. Actually, it's a lot of languages way of going about it. Python though is very nice, and also I think that this is where it's an important point to stop before we go any further, and just say this: everything in Python is an object. Okay, so x equals 1 is an object. Y equals 2.5 is an object. X2 equals string is an object. An object, I mean that there is some higher level block of code that is called a class, which essentially allows you to be able to use the rules of that class when it's instantiated. Instantiate means to assign this class's values to a variable, and then once you have that variable, just as we've declared x is equal to 1, we're going to be able to like this: x equals print string. Okay, right, like that. So if we do that, now it prints string, right? That means that we're applying this function right here, not this string. We're applying that to this value. Okay, so when we're talking about lists, you got to understand that it is simply just an object in Python, but more importantly, it is actually a data structure that is only in Python. So arrays though are in pretty much every programming language. Okay, so we're going to also go into that as well. Okay, because I do want you to understand like the difference. But for now, we're just going to talk about lists. Okay, and at the end, we'll just do a little side note. I've already kind of showed it before, but we're going to go a little bit back to that just so you can see. So also, as you can see here, I've put up these methods. Again, we covered this, what was it, yesterday, I believe. I dropped that video about string methods. So now we have list methods, okay? Again, there's a class with some block of code that it can be executed that will be able to define the rules here. And the rule says that we're going to sort this list, okay? So first, let's talk about declaring the list. So we're going to go with list1, and it's going to equal, and this is how we're going to initialize a list. And we're just going to use these empty brackets, okay? So right there, we have a list. We could print list1 right here, and it's going to kick back these empty brackets, okay? And it's saying you have an empty list, which isn't, well, actually is really useful in Python, but and other languages as well. But right now we're just talking about we have that. So let's populate this with some data. Okay, let's give it some info here. And okay, now we're going to print it again. Okay, and now you can see that these values are inside of this list. Okay, this sequence of numbers is in there. Okay, and when we're talking about lists, also it's important to think that with lists, there's actually locations, okay? So if you want to access an element in a list, that is possible, okay? So because, well, I'll show you how you can do that. Actually, we talked about that earlier when we were indexing strings, okay? We did do some indexing of strings, and now we're about to do some indexing of a list of characters. Remember I said that? Okay? So now this is just a list of elements, okay? Um, so there you go. Right now you got element 5, and with lists they always start at 0. So this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So that's how you count through a list. That's how you walk through it, and you can understand how we came up with that 66 value. Okay, so and that's important, right? Like you need to be able to understand how and why. Why is the next question. Like why would you want to do this? Like it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It seems kind of like, well, we already have this x variable that we can declare as a string or as an integer. Like why would we need to even use a list? Okay, well, let's say you have a program, right? And it's going to use names, okay? Um, and you want to be able to use those names throughout your program. Now, why would you want to always call a variable when you could just call a list? Like you could just index the list real quick and boom. That would be really useful actually. Or say you want a random name out of that list, okay? That would be very useful. If you don't have that available to you, you won't be able to do it. So what's nice about lists is that lists can actually allow you to have any type of data. Okay, so like how we just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. So we're going to actually replace that, and we're going to put a T, and we're also going to put a 2.7 here. Okay, and you're going to see that no matter what kind of data we put in here, it still works. Okay, we can also put that other type of data, which is a bool. We talked about those a little bit again. So there you go. Boom. We actually put a bool type data in there. So now, like, the problem is this is not efficient. Lists are not efficient, like, at all, because of the fact that Python is a language which is dynamic in the first place. So that means it can be, the types can be changed any given point. There's no, it's not static. And then on top of that, um, arrays are not, like they are static in their types, and so that leads to a much higher degree of efficiency. It is much quicker to iterate through a list of integer values that are declared simply as integer values than it is to iterate through 1, 2.7, T, and true. You have like 4 data types here. And when we're talking about long computations, this is going to be a problem right here. This is going to be a major problem. It's going to slow down your program significantly. So at that point, you will be wanting to use numeric arrays. But for now, we're not going to really worry about that. So we're actually, you know what, we're going to leave this. Now, I want to talk about indexing a little bit further, because you'll also notice there's this little index method, right? Like this. Yeah, okay. So, but I want to talk a little bit more about changing values and how we can do this, right? So let's do this, right? List 1, and we're going to index, okay, at 2, okay? And then we're going to do y equals list 1, and we're going to index at, let's say, well, if we go too far, 0, 1, 2, we'll go with 3, okay? We'll go with 3. And now we're going to say list, we're at 3, so let's go with 4, let's go with 5. Okay, list 5 or list 1 at location 5 equals x plus y. Okay, and now we're going to print list 1. Okay, and if everything goes well, we should have no issues at all. Okay, and it looks like we had absolutely no issues. Is that true? Let's check it out, right? Because this looks different than that looks, right? It does look different. So what do we got going on here? We had location 2, so 0, 1, 2, okay? And then we have location 3, so 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, so 3 plus 4, right? So we're here, so 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to 4, and then we're going to 5. So 66 becomes 7, because 3 plus 7, 3 plus 4 equals 7, and that's why that 66 is removed, okay? So if you want to change a value like that, you want to combine some values together like that, that is absolutely possible. However, and I was curious about this myself, if this was possible, but it is not. Okay, so this right here, it's very tempting to think that this would work. Let's see, 0, 1 equals list 1, and we're going to assign it to to list index 3. Although, you know what I may have realized? I think that if I just did this backwards, it may just work. So let's give this a go. I may actually be wrong here. I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong, because this seems like it's sensible, and it seems like it would work. Let's see. And it does work. Okay, so there's that, right? There's that. However, let's see, list 3, let's see, so 0, 1, 2, 3 equals list 0, index 0, and index 1. So, oh, we gotta print that, that's why. Because I feel like it did work. Okay, it did work. So list index location 3, where is that? 0, 1, 2, 3 is now 3.7. Okay, instead of it being 4. All right, so this is actually possible. I did it backwards when I was trying it before. You guys weren't around, so at least you know that we can do this. Okay, we can just index, declare it, and just change. So that's also really useful. Now let's talk about keywords, because we have not even hit keywords yet. You may have seen a keyword, but you don't really know what it's for. So there are quite a few different keywords, and essentially what they do is they allow you to operate on data and structures in Python. They allow you to operate on objects. They allow you to set up different, I guess you could call it control flow. It allows you to change elements a little bit in different ways that is simply not really possible in programming without it. It's not possible. So in Python, the first keyword we're going to talk about here is delete, and it's really simple. We're going to do this, del, and we're going to delete list 1. And we're going to now print list 1. And there we go. See, we cause an error. All right. And that's what we want. Okay, we want that to cause an error because, well, it's been deleted. Okay, so in other languages, to my understanding, if you were to use the delete keyword like this, it would actually just remove the elements from the list. However, in Python, it will outright delete the element. So, and it doesn't stop with just list, okay? So you could do x equals 1, we could do y equals 2.4, we can do z equals string, okay? Like we can just, we're gonna print, well, you obviously know it's gonna display to the screen right now. You've seen this print function enough. So we're just going to delete x, y, and z, okay? And then we're going to print x, y, z, okay? And you will see that these are no longer here, okay? So, I mean, first off, this is going to cause an error. So, you know, we have to remove this element, and then we need to try that, x, y, z. Now, if we just get rid of this real quick and we run the application, you can see that it's going to print right to the screen. So then again, we can delete, and you're going to see that it is gone. Okay, so, and that's why I said keywords they're important, because they allow us to do some different things that would not be possible if it were not for these keywords. And as we're going a little bit further here with lists, it may be important for you to, after you say use this copy method, to delete this other list, because for efficiency of your program, and you have this list, which this is small, but if we had a big list, okay, it would be, you know, much better to get a copy at the index of this and then just delete this other list. Also, I want to talk about another thing with lists, since we're talking about indexing as well. I want to talk about how to get a range of values, okay, and to copy this range of values, okay. So what we have is a little character, which is a colon, and that is actually it's called a slice in Python. So let's check this out. List 1, and we're going to slice from location 0 to location 3, and we're going to do that, and we're actually going to wrap that in our print function, so that way we can actually get the values here. Okay, so here you are. Oh, right here we still gotta undelete our values. Let's see. Okay, so there we are. We have a copy of just that range of values. Now, if you wanted, we could assign that to a new variable, or a new variable, right? So we could do this, right? List 2 equals list 1, and we're going to slice from here to there. Oh, there we are. Okay. See, and it's going to copy everything. Now, as it stands right now, this video, I can tell, is getting kind of long, and I wanted to go into these list methods, but I think for now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, so that way we can do another video and you don't have to be stuck here watching this for 80 minutes, just maybe a little over 10 or so minutes. So yeah, we'll break this up. We'll do the lists like this, like we just did, and then we'll come back and we'll do these list methods. Most likely I'll drop this video today as well. So yeah, I think we're in a very good spot where you can understand how you can index a list, index it in a range of values, that you can assign multiple types of values to a list. You can, flip flop like this, right? Like we just added two values together and we called it the same. We combined two values and we placed it already in a existing location in a list. And we can also do that as well. Here, I want to show you that too, since we're already at this, right? List two. Let's go with 3. Okay, go 3, and we can do list 1, and we can pull that from there. Okay, list, and we'll even combine it. Okay, this probably would not be the most efficient operation in the world, but we're joining two values together. Okay, or two lists. Okay, we're doing that right now. So there we are. So as you can see, let's see, 0, 2. Oh, that didn't seem to work the way I wanted it to. List. Oh yes, it did. Okay, because it's adding it 0, 1, 2, 3, 6.7. We're joining list 2 at location 2, which is 0, 1, 2. That doesn't work. Oh, list 1. My bad, list 1. So what do we got going on with list 1? Where is that up? Okay, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so we got the 3 right here. And then we have list 2 at location 1. 0, 1 right there. And it's assigning it to index 3. Okay, it's assigned to index 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now what if we want to assign this to index 4, index location 4? What about that? Let's try that out. See, that's saying that essentially we're at the end of the list. There's no, like, we've declared how far this list runs, and we're trying to assign it to a place that doesn't exist. So 2 is the max right now. If we want to assign it further, then we need to have values beyond 3. Okay, so if we want to assign 4 and 5 and 6 and so on and so forth, that is absolutely required. However, there are negative indexes. So let's do this as well. I think this is important for you to see and know that you can absolutely do negative indexing as well. So that's kind of cool. Actually, whoops, we pulled it from the end of the list, right? So we want like -4, I think, here. That will get us closer. Yep, right there. Okay, so now we've put our value at the very beginning of the list, because negative indexing starts here, so it would be -1, -2, -3, -4, whereas this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so for the most part, I do think we've covered a lot when it comes to lists. I don't think we really need to keep digging much deeper here. So when we do come back, we will cover these different list methods. So for now, make sure you comment, you like, you subscribe. If you have any questions, typically you'll be able to find me on Facebook. I'm working on getting a Telegram or something like that put together, or somewhere where people can reach me a little bit more easier than just the comments. However, it's okay for right now. So have a good day, happy coding, and I will see you later.